Well, joining me now, we have Democratic Congressman from Washington, Adam Smith. He is the ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee. Welcome. Good to see you, sir. So the governor-elect of your state, as well as many other Democratic-led states, they're preparing for legal fights at a federal level. President Biden is also working to Trump-proof some of his policies. So how necessary and potentially effective are these efforts?
I don't like this message at this particular moment, and please don't get me wrong. I mean, if in fact things happen that threaten, the rights of people in our states, I would hope that our attorney generals and governors would stand up for them. But look, the best way to Trump-proof a state in the country is to actually govern effectively. We have major problems, certainly in my state, when it comes to criminal justice policy, when it comes to homelessness, when it comes to drug abuse, when it comes to a lack of affordable housing. If Democrats want the country to reject Donald Trump, then we need to show the country in blue states where we govern and where we lead that we can do so effectively and address the issues that concern the people who live here. Standing up and sort of using Donald Trump as a boogeyman, whatever, okay, great. What's that doing for the people here in King County where I live, where crime is a problem, homelessness is a problem, drug abuse is a problem, lack of affordable housing is a problem. And I've been working on these issues, trying to get local leaders to pay more attention to it, to reject some of the ideological components that have made that difficult. That is what we need to do to get the country to stop voting for Donald Trump and the MAGA agenda.
Okay, effective governance, duly noted. So after the election, you told the Wall Street Journal that Harris and Democrats appeared a bit too close to the party's progressive flank, saying, quote, the extreme left is leading us into a ditch. Do you think that's why Donald Trump won the election?
Absolutely. By the way, I would not use the word progressive. Okay. I'm a progressive. All right. I believe progressive, is about helping people. It's about dealing with marginalized members of our community and giving them opportunity, standing up to racism, standing up to transphobia, standing up to bigotry. But sadly, a big part of the agenda has come down to defund the police, abolish ICE, radical identity politics. One issue in the campaign was there was an initiative in California to toughen punishments for shoplifters, for basically robberies. Vice President Harris wouldn't say how she stood on that issue. Okay. Look, I'm in favor of a lot of very progressive policies, but there are key policies that we have failed on in a number of these blue states that people have noticed, and I've already listed them. But certainly crime, the abolish ICE issue, the radical identity politics, just the inability to provide effective government. We had a major problem, in my view, in King County and with a lot of the government agencies here with people not coming into the office. The pandemic's been over for a couple of years. We have many, local government agencies that don't require people to come into the office at all.
Wow.
Forget 2 days a week or 3 days a week or 4 days a week at all. And meanwhile, the services have suffered. All right. If we want to take back this country, then let's show that we have progressive principles, that we are willing to go to work to help people, not just mouth academic slogans that make us feel better.
Washington Congresswoman Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez, one of the most vulnerable Democrats in the House, looks like she could win her rural red district despite her constituents voting for Donald Trump now 3 times in a row. When asked by the New York Times if the Democratic Party will be forced to change after this crushing election cycle, she said, quote, it's a lot easier to look outward to blame and demonize other people instead of looking in the mirror and seeing what we can do. So the Democratic caucus held a virtual meeting on Thursday. First of all, sir, were you on that call? And do you sense there is... Okay. But do you sense overall through the party there is a level of soul searching going on?
There's a level. Whether or not it translates into action is what I'm concerned about. And Marie is a good friend. I was a strong supporter of hers 2 years ago when she ran the first time. And I think she hits the nail on the head. I mean, we need to figure out how to appeal to working class people with a message that respects them, with a message that doesn't, dismiss them as, Trump supporters and somehow that makes them bad people. what can we do to help them? And I think Marie's message, and, Marie won. She, I know they haven't called it yet, but I looked at the numbers. She's fine. Jared Golden, Don Davis, Gabe Vasquez. These are 4 people who ran in tough districts, and they ran on a more common sense message, rejecting some of the ideological tenets that have gotten the Democratic Party in trouble, and the people responded to it. In Trump winning districts, they won. And I do hope our party looks at that. And I want to be clear again, I'm not saying, oh, we have to be centrist, we have to be moderate. I prefer we have to be common sense in the policies that we adapt to help the working class and to recognize their frustrations and their struggles, and to recognize that not everyone's going to go off and get a 4-year degree and become an engineer.
Yeah.
So what are we doing to support people who want to work for a living?
Yeah.
I think we need to listen to people like Murray.
Let me ask you one more quick question. With Donald Trump having made a lot of foreign policy promises during the campaign, he vowed to bring peace to the Middle East. Also, he'd end the war in Ukraine in one day. You're a ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Do you see that happening? And it's worth noting that Elon Musk was on Donald Trump's call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky yesterday. Any idea why?
I don't. I could speculate, but that's not really the point. The important thing is the pure fantasy of Donald Trump's position. And look, you saw what President Putin said today. He said, Donald Trump's promise to end the war is just it's empty campaign rhetoric. And Putin is responding to Trump's weakness. Look, Trump is the one who said he doesn't want to support Ukraine. He doesn't want to arm them to defend themselves. And Putin knows this. So unless Trump changes that position, unless he makes it clear right now, Mr. Putin, end this war, or we're going to keep helping Ukraine to defend themselves, that puts Ukraine in an impossible position. Yes, we need to get to a peaceful negotiated settlement, but you don't get there if you abandon Ukraine. Because Putin says, well, Trump's coming in. He's not going to help Ukraine. Why would I sign a peace deal? I'll just go all the way to Kyiv. So, yeah, Trump's sort of fanciful, I will magically bring peace to the world just because I'm president thing is about to run headlong into reality.
I wonder if voters will ever hold him accountable for that. I guess
we got to keep working on that, Alex, as you know. Yes.
Yeah. All right, Congressman Adam Smith, it's good to see you, sir.